3 Fort Campbell Warrior Transition Battalion soldiers graduated from an OSHA certification course September 1st. The course is a pilot program offered by the City of Clarksville. This is one of the many steps offered by the surrounding communities in an effort to reach out to active duty soldiers at Fort Campbell. It's programs like these that help soldiers transition from military to civilian life run a little smoother.
Well, we are so excited at the City of Clarksville to really help and initiate this program. What happened is we had a young man who actually approached our human relations head and some other people within city government who said, I'm interested in actually interning with the City of Clarksville to gain some knowledge about what I can do when I get out into the civilian world. That led them to start thinking about how we could be a part of this. So they came to me and I said, let's do it. Let's actually continue our partnership with Fort Campbell and look to how we can do our part in trying to help the soldiers transition into the civilian world. So we're playing a very small role in what we can do to make it easy for them to actually transition from a military life into civilian life and hopefully be a part of the Clarksville, Tennessee community.
The OSHA course is one way the City of Clarksville worked to help build confidence in soldiers who unexpectedly are now leaving the military due to being wounded, ill, or injured.
OSHA is an awesome class that I think a lot of people should take time to take because every aspect of business you go into, you need OSHA training, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's working in a factory, teacher, hospital. OSHA is almost like FDA, it's all across the board.
This certificate is going to add to my portfolio, which currently I have 14 years of industrial experience in maintenance and processing. I also have experience as an electronics degree, 2 years associates. So I combine this along with welding and a mechatronics course that's being offered that will help me get a better job potentially with one of the bigger companies here as a maintenance technician, looking to work with in the robotics repair field, as well as some of the laser industry where they do some of the cutting of some of the products with that.
I was already going to do this OSHA 30 class, which is an actual certification, and he said, well, let's try to get some of these other guys maybe in here. So we were kind of trying some stuff out, trying to think of some ways where we can give somebody some training above and beyond what they would normally get. And it's 30 hours worth of training, and it's really helped my class because I have city employees in there, and they're a pretty diverse group too. But when you start throwing in all these other guys that have had all these different types of life experiences, and you start talking about the different regulations and things like that, and they put together all these different scenarios that one regulation can deal with and relates to. So it really paints a real good picture for everybody in the training on, just how important some of this stuff is when it comes to health and safety.
The tangible piece, obviously, is the certificate, hence the 30 hours that they get for OSHA training, and that's wonderful, and that's something that they can actually take that's marketable. But in addition to that, the intangibles, I think, are their opportunity to work with the civilian sector, the private sector, to give themselves opportunities, not just from an OSHA standpoint, but also talk with some of the movers and shakers, if you will, in the communities. It gets them in the social mindset of being able to sell themselves later on, as they do once they finally make that transition out into the private sector or into the civilian world.
There's so many programs out there to help soldiers, but a lot of soldiers don't know about them, don't know how to get involved. So we're just trying to be more proactive and kind of like, hey, we're here, this is what we can do for you, we can help you out.
We want this program to grow as much as it can be. Fort Campbell is a big installation, and we have a lot of soldiers who are making that transition, and we want to be there to help, not just in the OSHA standpoint, but in all other points. We've asked all of our department heads, how can you be helpful? Are there things you can offer in your departments that may not be OSHA related, but may offer other certifications and other things that we can do to help Fort Campbell, the soldiers, the men and women there who have given so much to our country to be a part of our community in whichever way they think and they see fit.
We would like to see this expand. This was sort of a pilot. This is our, kind of a test run to see how this works. It's worked fantastic. We've got nothing but positive feedback. Again, it's a win-win. The time commitment is really the cost to us, and so we're now in the process of looking at, we've met with other department heads, asked them to look at areas within their departments where they can offer training and experience to those transitioning out, or the WTB, those that are still in. And we haven't approached external other entities yet as far as employers, but that's our next step.
I think it's a wonderful opportunity, and hopefully they will continue to do this going forward. We'll have the opportunity to send maybe even more soldiers in the future.